Good morning with Nix. How are you? I did not fix any coffee or tea yet. I was too busy cleaning this morning. I woke up with the spirit of cleaning. I saw a leak from a small fridge unit that I have because I made an adjustment to the temperature yesterday, and I didn't know that I had taken it down too low. So that caused the thing to defrost. I don't know if that's a message for someone's. Maybe someone needs to defrost their freezer and do some cleaning in the freezer. Throw away old meats, old like freezer burnt meats, things of that nature. Um, what else did I get from that? There's also a leak. Maybe there's a leak in information. There's been some type of infiltration, something like that. Because what prompted me to change the temperature on the fridge unit was a noise. It was a noise that came out of nowhere, and it got quite intense and annoying. And in order to remedy the noise, I had to make adjustments to the unit. So maybe that is significant to someone, that there may be some annoying type of noise where you may have to make an adjustment to a unit. I was leaving the kitchen and I heard it. It said zzz, and it came from, and I was listening to the device, and I went over and I looked into it and I saw frost on the back. So I made the adjustment to the temperature. However, whatever the adjustment was, it made the noise go away. However, there was a leak. This might be significant to someone. Okay, so let me go on and read the Bible first, and then we're going to get into the messages because I know you missed me yesterday for Wednesday's wisdom, but however, the wisdom was to not come on yesterday. I had already gone through a necessary ordeal. I should say that. I had already gone through a necessary ordeal. So it was reasonable to take rest. It was more than reasonable to take rest. I've also been advised not to go into my chat. I have a bunch of violent stalkers that are going through every avenue in order to communicate with me, as well as I have some disturbed quite members that have been they would identify themselves as old friends of mine. They would identify themselves as family members of mine. Some of them even call themselves my children. I don't go in with disassemblers, so bear with me. Also, with the spirit of Athalia, once again, I covered one level, but there's another level. And this is where that Hierophant group came from that I was trying to address. See, the Hierophant group, they're very powerful. That's institutions, they're guiding the way, religion, that sort of things, the way you live your life, right? And the Hierophant group can't really afford to attack us small citizens one by one. However, there are smaller groups and smaller denominations that have time and all day. And usually they're connected to government entities by way of contract. They're connected by housing. They're connected by food stamps. They're connected by TANF. They're connected by child support. They're connected by DHS. They're connected by health and hygiene. A lot of these connections are set up as spider webs. They are meant to be able to have connectivity in a positive way. However, it has also been used in a dual manner for other situations. So keep in mind that these entities are using the constituents. You're not listening. They're using the constituents to take out these favors. And it doesn't look like what you think it's going to look like. Bear with me. Okay, so let's get into the first part. All right. Psalms 1, let's go. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, but sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Okay. Amen. Selah, so be it. All right. So with that being said, we also have another issue to deal with. And this is why I brought up the Hierophant group. However, there is a situation where there is a Pharisee spirit. Now, I would not have gone into researching this thing had I not looked at that mass stabbing that happened on I-495, right? And I looked at the situation. There was a man, a man of color. We'll say he's a man of color because he was not Caucasian. He was, I think he was Latino, Spanish, Mexican descent, whatever. But however, he went on a manic spree. He was a government worker. He went on a manic spree, and he ended up unaliving one woman, but he had injured 3 other women, and he turned on an innocent animal. And you have to understand, he did not know these women. He performed road rage, and even in front of the state troopers and the police, he still did not stand down. He still possessed that spirit. You see, the Pharisee spirit is on the top shelf. The Pharisee spirit is the ones that judge, the ones that question, the ones that will say, if you have so and so, you are ungodly. If you do this, you are ungodly. If you do that, you are ungodly. But what we did learn from the Bible, if you did learn from the Bible, is that you should not cast judgment, because that is not your job. A lot of these things are above you. So when you take them into your consideration, you are playing a dangerous game, because you are playing God on this earth. And a lot of the Pharisee spirit does cover that. It covers the unwavering judgment of God's children. And it kind of deputizes other people with a false confidence, with a false agreement, saying that they know better than all else around. And it's a very aggressive spirit. This spirit does not let go. It is unwavering. It attacks. And the person that it is being enacted through is not aware how far this spirit is willing to push that physical body. And once it's used that physical body to its hilt, it will abandon that vessel and then go where else it can be used and utilized. So you might have a person attack you for a time period. And once their vessel gets done, or their job is done, or the assignment is gone as far as it can go, or unless it backfires, that person will then have to sit down, and the illusion might or may not be lifted, depending on if that person repents, goes to God, does some kinds of cleansing, or just has a tower moment. And once that moment happens, the spirit will free that person, and that person will then be surrounded by the damage that they had caused, because they were so encapsulated by that feeling, that fuel, that they did not know when to stop. So when that veil is lifted, the damage is there and it cannot be undone. Yet the spirit has gone elsewhere to take over someone else. And this is why we say, make sure you have your spiritual cleansing. Make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to keep yourself in alignment, because the devil be busy and he's always looking for an opening. So if you like to be in chaos and you can't separate yourself from things that are not serving you or your highest good, then you are now an opening for that situation to come forward. And a lot of times, this spirit loves desperation, it loves insecurity, it loves a heart of anger, it likes angst, it feeds on your need. The whole time you're thinking that you need to come into a big situation where somebody is actually asking you to do a ritual or drink the red stuff, and no, it's gotten so patented that it's now commercial. Anything could bring you into agreement. This is why you have to be careful of the hands you shake. You have to be careful of letting people pray for you and going to people for counsel, because you do not know who's counseling that person. We've seen that in the Kojic preaching that has been taking on. We have people that are involved in actual activities of a certain perversion, and that activity isn't to fulfill the actual need, it is to fulfill the entity in the spirit. And this is why a lot of times a son's boys in particular are damaged when they go into certain religious spots. It is to will control, and it is the button of the patriarchy. That is the gateway. A lot of times when you're dealing with a person who has been there, who has been backdooring, I'll call it, or a person who is a switch hitter, they are more susceptible to those entities. And if you lay down with a person that has been doing such, you will not know that your spirit has come into agreement with that particular entity. So I'm endearing you to look up the Pharisee spirit and educate yourself and see what you could do in your own life to align yourself so that this thing is not acceptable to you. Like I said, in the Athalia spirit, that's also another thing I've been covering. That spirit seeks to destroy all its generations. Athalia was so hard bent on having power that she had a long game to destroy her husband because she did not want him to have power. She secretly she poisoned his mind, she poisoned his cups, she poisoned his bed, and then she poisoned his preach, she poisoned his prayer, she poisoned his covenant. He was supposed to be the new king of Babylon. He was supposed to be the new king of Judah. However, his wife led him to ruin, as did his sons, and his generations therefore after, before someone actually took pity upon that blood lineage and decided to save one child and set that child aside to fulfill the prophecy, knowing that this child would bring about the destruction of the worshipers of Baal. Now, I did see in one excerpt today that Baal has been openly being worshipped somewhere in this world. So sin has become very, very mature, into where people are no longer hiding at altars and going into the woods. They are doing it in front of your face. They are not hiding the double talk. A person will knowingly know that they don't know you, but they will gather witnesses around that don't know you. And they will speak ill things to you directly in hopes that they can exhaust you to the point where you don't talk. Because if you should be able to get a word in, they would be found flawed. Sometimes you cannot run away from these people that want to exhaust you, because that is the job. To be so exhausting that you give up and you lay down and you allow them to walk over you. This is a bully spirit. Most times bullies have big holes in them. They have big insecurities. They have needs that have never been met. So it does leave a void. And in that void, that is where the spirit rests, in that void. You have to be careful when you go into a crowd of people who seek to destroy one. You have to ask yourself, why so many against one? And it's not to say that one person cannot be dangerous. I wouldn't say that at all. The thing about it is, research needs to happen on both sides, because if that was all judgment was, why would we have court? Why would we have juries? Why would we have jury duty? Why would we have peers if we were not supposed to, at some point, reason with one another? And if a whole group can't reason with one person, some knowledge should be sought, because why is this person garnering so much effect? And another question you should ask is, what does this person have that these people are focused on? And then the next question needs to be, what is it to them? What would it serve them for this person to fall? And that is a good question for a lot of people. So be careful when you go in with the disassemblers. Me, myself, my circles have been infiltrated because of the Pharisee spirit. My circles have been infiltrated because we have folks that are vibrating so low that they want to eat up God's people. There are a lot. There is 144,000 of us. And we are all trying to navigate on this rock as peacefully as possible. However, there are some disturbances that have been set to try to bring us down, bring the numbers down. And because people have been given the Leviathan spirit, the spirit of Athalia, the Jezebel spirit, and the Pharisee spirit, we have a whole government of spirits out here. Excuse me, karma. Running things. And they're running things through those agencies in which I just mentioned. And by way of those agencies, they're able to infiltrate both up and down. These people look like your nurses, your doctors, your clerics, your pastors. They might even be your daycare workers. They might be your social workers. A lot of social workers are involved in it because they have to talk. And they're put in a position to where you have to listen. And you have to pay attention to people who have talking jobs. Like myself, I have a talking job. I'm an influencer. The things that I have to say, I have a responsibility to the things that I say. However, there are others who don't have a responsibility to what they say, or at least they don't assume responsibility. They are very reckless in their talk. They do not mind who they talk about. They do not mind the double talk. They do not mind slander. They do not mind lies. They do it intentionally to cause chaos. It is chaos magic. They like to gaslight, and they don't mind doubling down on a lie. Most people are compensated to lie. They've taken bribes, maybe some extra perks, maybe some leniency, a blind eye to one or two bad situations. Understood. This is what's going on, and this is why the scam and the fraud is so widespread, because everyone has needed a favor. And unfortunately, the favors have gone unclean for so long that it's total desperation and desolation, and it stinks. As a person is taking a bath and you might smell a smell, it's not that, it's the spirit on them. You're smelling that spirit on them. You're smelling what ancestor, what bad influence came on them. So if they have a ancestor or a particular bad spirit on them that came from someone who wasn't well kept, who always gave bad advice, who always seek to destroy, you understand, you're going to smell that on them. They're going to have a bad spirit. They're going to have a bad stench, the spirit stench. And some are so entrenched in badness and lack thereof, or jealousy and envy, that it actually comes out of their pores naturally. And it's not just a spirit. They actually stink from the inside, and nothing really can remedy that. Most times they'll have to use some type of prescription deodorant or something like that, because the the spirit has gotten so deep into their bowels that now they have like stuff like pyorrhea, what is that, halitosis, um, a bad smell down there, um, or they have a real stagnant underarm smell, and it's like you could smell it. It's like it's not just coming from the gym, it's a pungent smell. This comes from deep down animosity, and a lot of times the person that's experiencing this person isn't the cause. This cause comes from a lot of childhood trauma, being ignored. You don't know how many people, both men and women, have been pushed upon by brothers, sisters, cousins, stepbrothers, siblings, fathers, people of the cloth. They have been assaulted. There are people who keep secrets for other people because they're embarrassed, and the Pharisee spirit is here to guard their mouths from telling who did it, because there are some people who have openly come into agreement with child abuse, child SA. And the people who came into agreement with it had ambitions on being famous at some point, or at least they wanted status. They wanted money, but they didn't want to do the work. So they offered up their children. They offered up the innocents. They offered up those who would not fight them openly. They went behind those people's backs and they talked about them. They slandered their name. They made sure to poke holes in every story so that when it came time to lay weight, things would fall through easily. These people have been making reports on you. These people keep your name in their mouth, even though you don't know them. Some of us have hits out on us. Honestly, some of us have someone trying to murder us, either in the spirit or in the physical, via our families and their friends and their constituents. I myself had someone try to sell me to their girlfriend. Not directly, but see, the girlfriend was kept away from me because she was triangulated with the ghost of my image. Someone told her that I was no good. I was a Jezebel. I was this, I was that, I was this, I was that. So because she felt as though I was so bad, she even got told that I was a horrible mom. And because she was so open to the lies told, she now possesses that entity by way of accepting untruths and never ever going to find out herself. Now, because I'm not a very public figure, I keep myself private. I've been forced into the public light because a lot of people have taken advantage of my not wanting to be in everybody's face. You understand? I'm not a big showy person, but if you've met me, I have a presence. I don't come through loud, but you hear me and you see me when I do. So for a lot of time, a long time, I've actually kept myself quiet, and this did not serve me in my best peace because people were using that to step on other people and triangulate other people's hearts. I do not have an ex that did not use my absence and my silence to fool another woman. I don't. I have family members that use my silence to fool you into sympathy for them. I have people who would use small incidents and blow them out of proportion because they did not like the way that I presented one time or the other. However, I was authentic in my presentation, and they were unable to falsely accuse me to my face, so they had to go behind my back and do the work so that when they came back around to this situation, they could try and publicly humiliate me. I'm aware that there are some women that believe that I am a bad, unfit mother. I have been stealing people's man, that I sleep with all my exes, and all sorts of things of that nature. However, untrue. Untrue. I don't like any of them, honestly, because of that entity and that spirit. You see, when people are vibrating low and they get a little jealous or they listen to someone, because I know in particular there are some people that will have a good rapport with me, and they'll get next to someone who I once trusted, who I believed at a time I could trust. And me, unbeknownst to me, I was still talking to these people, not knowing they were slandering my name. I did not know my mother hated me from birth. I did not know she did not want me to be the one chosen. She knew I was, apparently. I did not know. I just found out in 24. And that's when everybody really went in and decided to tell you that I was crazy or this, that, and the third. I had someone close to me I left my child with because I was going through a situation. That same person called CPS and tried to get my child put into the system. Someone who I lived with for a time because I needed to save up money to buy my house. But this same person bore false witness against me and said that I had left my child unattended. However, they had possession of my child. How did my child get to you? And how could you have made that report from so far out of the city if you didn't have my child? You decided to go in with the disassemblers. And I forgive you, but I will never forget. You see, I even had someone under my own roof taking my information and using it for their own gain. There's supposed to be a plot to unalive me. There's supposed to be a plot to take my intellectual gifts, my books, my brands, my businesses. There's a plot to try to take my house or take my child so that they could gain conservatorship or some sort of guardianship over me. Someone wanted to control my life. Someone who does not contribute to my life. You see, when my father was passing away, I started noticing the puzzle pieces move. I had not been epileptic. I had never had seizures prior to this. And I noticed that my ex-husband started going to Puerto Rico. He went to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And he found a girl, luckily, with the same last name as his. And they pretended to be married and exit the country. So, of course, they went to go and see the witch doctor, the practitioner, whoever. And they were on a specific assignment. At the same time, a brother of mine with the sister-in-law, they went to Puerto Rico too, and they also went and got some stuff done. And it was funny how everybody brought me souvenirs back. This is why you have to be careful with gifts. They have bad juju on it. They're spells. However, I was not part of the spiritual world at that time. They had kept me so distracted that I was not even able to be aware of the devices that were being planted against me. Yes, they were putting things in my drinks. I started having seizures. I had a stroke. Between my ex-husband and my mother, they did me very, very good. And then my sister, she visited me after the stroke and she looked at me, and that's when I remembered. It's like she didn't look at me to see if I was okay. She looked at me to see why. Or she looked at me to see how I had survived. I always said that. I said when she visited me, it's like she was coming for proof. She wasn't coming because of sympathy. She was coming for proof. So then I remembered that everybody who started to come eventually took envy from me. So then I remembered that it was the Pharisee spirit that my mother carried that was on me. So by way of her Pharisee spirit, she had infiltrated anyone who had ever laid eyes on me and had any grievous thought. So the moment you looked at me, you enacted an entity because there was an insecurity attached to you. And that is her trip. That's the trip she put. She put a damn booby trap on me. And it all works in her favor, see. So if I were to pass away or become crazy, not only could she destiny swap with me and maintain the matriarch of the family, she could also take my income, my royalty. She could claim my children and my legacy and everything of that. However, never really contributing to a lot of that. Only the aesthetics, very, very lightly. Very, very lightly. And I feel your anger, my dear, because I'm releasing the things that you've done for me, which was nothing but plant enemies continuously in my way, while giving me things to continually make me beautiful so that it makes people even more envious of me. You see, you are not working for yourself. You're working for that thing. You are the help. You are helping someone come up off me while you are constantly going down. She does not care how much jail you end up in. She does not care who gets hurt, fired, anything. She does not care any reputation as long as her hands are clean. So you have been used. A condom, I should say. Not safely. Maybe a lifestyle. They break. But yes, so when I started to break down the hierarchy of it, it's definitely the Hierophant group that is ahead of this situation, because her with this Pharisee spirit does not know that there's a Pharisee over top of her. And it is using her to eat up her family through her. A lot of times my sister is very ignorant to the fact, because I saved her for so many years. I've saved her for so many years. She does not know why she attacked me. She attacked me physically one time. She does not know her and her mother almost did things to me. And what happened is, when she decided that she was going to go on her childbearing journey, there was no child care. There was me. And this is why I don't like to watch children. And this is why I don't like one of my other cousins, because the few times that I did go against myself and watch kids, the devil intervened. One of the children spit in my drink, spit in my ex-fiance's drink, like spit, like went in. And that child ended up being a big, big problem for her. So I've watched these things happen unreasonably throughout my life, and I'm trying to figure out, and only now can I identify why it's happening. That woman put a curse on me that was meant to destroy me socially. It was meant to destroy my love life. It was meant to destroy my it was meant to destroy my life, period. However, I kept coming back. I kept coming back. I kept being loved. I kept being loved. They were amazed when I got married, so they had to get through that. They were amazed when I raised a child that became a Marine, so she had to attack that. She did not want me to have a child that was complete, because she had definitely destroyed each one of her units. So how dare I have two saved, wonderful children? She couldn't let me have two, so now I just have one. The other one I've given back. You can have that one. That one has been taken by that spirit. That one has told themselves that they were going to sell their mother out so that they could go into agreement with the father and get the money so that they can offer to the new wife, because she's already sold her soul. Because why fight against someone who isn't fighting against you? Why would y'all tell yourselves that y'all were going to set me up and take my things so that y'all can have some money? Because he don't ever want to work. He's never going to work. But he's going to cash in my life to give to somebody who he's already been lying to for years about me and my presence. You see? And they're in the chat. This is why I'm not supposed to talk to the karmics in the chat, because they are spewing lies. And the more they spew lies, the more it's come to pass. I mean, look at it. Look at it. This is a reality. This is a reality. There are lies being spewed, allegations being made. Good morning. When those people came to attack me in my house, I didn't know their names. I just learned 2 names by way of 4 names, because the names is on my papers. How can you tell me you're not involved, yet your name, first and last name, is there making a statement? You understand? These people are coming at me relentlessly. However, do you see me sitting here, right? There you go. It is the Pharisee spirit to the Jezebel spirit to the Leviathan spirit. These people want to play God in your life, but they're not playing God in theirs. They're not restricting themselves from things that they know they shouldn't do. These people are telling you that they pray and they are Christian and this, that, and the third. However, you see them. I don't have to say anything. You see them. You talk to them. You be right there. You smell them. But you don't know, because you are not aware of what you're looking at. So be careful, gift givers. Be careful when people always want to buy you things and then fill your head with a bunch of nonsense. They want to include you in things that don't quite seem right, or they need to keep you inebriated. They need to keep the substances going around you because they need to keep you open and low vibrational so the spirit can come on to you too. They need you to smoke them cigarettes. They need you to drink that drink. They need you to wild out. They need you so riled up that you can go into any situation blatantly wrong and still pretend as though you're right. And the craziest part about it is the people who set you up like this, they go into the secret places and they watch it play out and they laugh at you. Because depending on how it goes, you'll be the next target. We have to understand that we are not dealing with a regular set of people any longer. We are dealing with a spirit. We are dealing with things that we know not of. You guys are so quick to check for a Wi-Fi signal, not knowing where the signal's coming from. Who made that possible? So let's get into the tarot this morning and let's get our 12 done. I have not set these cards up at all. And the Hierophant is the same. It's the first thing I grab. So let me explain what the Hierophant is first. The Hierophant is institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded mercy, wisdom, and trust. So this is how they have been able to infiltrate. They pretend to be upright. All the while, there are things going on underneath. Do you not see the Masonic sign underneath? Eastern stars and Masons might be significant. Then we've got a Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Financial independence, self-care, work, home, conflict, self-centered, jealousy, and smothering. There's somebody who is being very overbearing. Excuse me, that definitely resonates. There is an overbearing matriarchal mother figure, and it does not always have to be mine. There are more matriarchal figures out here. They can be your baby mother. That could be your mother. That could be an aunt. That could be a mother that you know. And she's in the reverse right now. So we got the Hierophant, Temperance, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. That's the Hierophant. Temperance is supposed to be balance, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, purpose, finding meaning. And that's a Sagittarius. 5, 14, that's 19, that's 10. And this is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse with all that going on. And that's Sagittarius, Capricorn, Taurus. So it's Taurus, Sagittarius, Taurus, Sagittarius. I don't know why I said Sagittarius. So it's a Sag with Taurus in their chart. A Taurus is a fixed sign. So there are people that are stubborn, that are not moved, that will not be moved, that will not abandon this negative journey. There will people who will not be moved. They are already consumed by it. Jealousy and envy consumed them. Insecurity consumed them. They're consumed by whatever happened in their childhood. And because they're hurt, they are going to distribute hurt. They feel rectified in hurting other people. So the Queen of Pentacles can also be a masculine. That can also be a man that also feels this way. That might be the transgendered or the bisexual man that is in the energy that I'm seeing. Okay. So let's start with Sagittarius, since that's what I keep seeing. Good morning. Happy birthday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Nyx. Good morning. Good morning. Step into the darkness. Hey. Woke up starving, darling, and you don't never get up. I woke up starving, darling, and you don't never ever get up. You want me to need you, please you, roll around and need you. And I don't really give a fuck. You need to love you, need you, roll around and please you. And I don't want to give up. So there are some people who are starving in spirit, not necessarily just for food. They're starving for love. They're starving for acceptance. They're starving for a new start. This is 5 and 2. Multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, balancing decisions, Capricorn, regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, loss, and grief. Scorpio, 5 and 2, that's a 7. So 7 days of the week. This is how it's going. 7 days of the week. Somebody spending 7 days of the week on this. This sounds like that Tony Braxton song I was singing the other day. 7 whole days and not a word from you. 7 whole nights and I'm just about through. I can't take, won't take, can't take it from you. I had about enough of you. I'd rather be on my own. On my own. 7 whole days. 7 whole nights. What's a girl to do? I'd rather be on my own. Somebody's feeling really hurt. There is a man out here triangulating a woman with nobody at all. He sowed a seed of deception in her heart. She believes he is sleeping with someone he is not. The person who he is triangulating with her with does not like him, does not want him, does not desire him. However, this person is so enamored because of the lies, they don't even know that they don't even like him. The reason why they like him is because they have sown a seed of deception. That is how triangulation works. This is how trauma bonding works. This is how men do it. They triangulate you with the best thing they've ever had, either by way of bragging about the best thing that they ever had or tearing it down continuously while making you either feel validated by the negativity or obligated by the positivity to show up and validate your own presence in this person's life. So yes, some of you are fighting the ghost of the ex past, be it female or male. They will mention things that their ex used to do or mention things that their ex didn't do in hopes that you will overachieve, overperform, or go in and actually go in a straight out war to the person who they pitch you against. And some of it works. Some of it works. All right. So let's go, Sag. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 10 of Pentacles out. Wealth, financial security, family, long-term success. Ooh, that 9 of Swords came out here. Boy, oh boy. It's Chariot time. All right, Sagittarius. So we've got, woo. Dang, that's how you feel? All right, so we've got 16 and 10, which is 26, which is an 8, which is karma. So when it comes to this 10, wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution, there is not going to be happening. None of that's going to be happening. There will not be no long-term anything because anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, and despair has fallen in, and it's in Gemini energy from the Virgo to the Gemini to the Cancer. All right. So if you have Virgo, Gemini, or Cancer in your chart, this is for you, boo. You will not be getting this wealth, this financial security, this family, long-term success, or this contribution, or you will not be contributing. You will not be giving the wealth or getting the wealth. You will not have the financial security. You will have anxiety, fear, and depression, and nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, and this is fast moving. This will happen now or in the near future. What did you do, Sagittarius? Sagittarius in your chart, or you have a Sagittarius moon, sun, or rising. This is what's happening, or it might be Sagittarius energy, which is the archer, which is precise. So someone might be getting precise karma. That might be an extreme backfire. So if this person is involved in hearsay or spell work or just that's what happened. I did see someone in one of my other favorite readers' chats, and I mean, they actually put bad intentions in the chat. That is spell work by way of backfire. So because I saw that, I'm hoping that that reader saw that you put like a whole 2 or 3 lines of bad intentions in their chat, and they get something, they clean that up for you, because that is witchcraft. That is a form of witchcraft, to spew lies, especially in chat. You may think you're doing it anonymously, but spirit has a hold on that. Okay, so you Sagittarius spirit, the archer is precise. It does shoot suddenly and airily. It does shoot. You might look for that in, I want to say Psalms 54, 53, 54, where they suddenly shooting arrows and all that stuff. Yeah, you might want to look at that. That's what's happening to you. All right, so let's move on from Sagittarius, because it seems like they got themselves in a little bit of trouble. All right, let's go. Let's go on to Capricorn. Hello and good morning. How are you? I'm here to just give you what the spiel is. I let you know what's going on. I let you know sometimes you need to be gone and pray for yourself and have great intentions, because you don't know what that person is praying for you is up to. They might have been messing with the booties of little boys, and then you got them touching your head. I don't understand what's going on out in this world. We do have Eastern stars. They are playing with their twats, and they're trying to touch your children. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not eating no rice or no spaghetti from nobody that I don't know. And guess what? Some of the people that you know are the ones that are doing it more, because they know you trust them. All right, Capricorn, 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we've got the 7 of Pentacles. We got the King of Cups, and we got the 10 of Swords. These swords keep coming out. Y'all getting cut, ain't y'all? Sharp. All right, so let's go. We got a 7. We got whoop, 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 whoop. We've got Taurus. Taurus keeps coming out here. Taurus is kind of ghetto. He's like the magic. He's like the magic. So we've got a Taurus out here in Capricorn energy. These are earth signs. These are earth signs. The Taurus, the Capricorn, and the Virgo, they are all earth signs. So be mindful. Now we've got a long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, investment. So we've got a Taurus here who's made an investment, and they're supposed to be looking for sustainable results, right? They're looking down at these pentacles, right? However, they don't look too confident. All right, let's see. Then we got the King of Cups, emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic control, balance, supportive leader, tolerance, and empathetic. And that is Aquarian, and that's not. That was Cancer. Okay, that's Aquarian and Pisces energy. So we got Taurus, Aquarius, Pisces. Ooh, little nasty crew. And then we've got Gemini out here with the swords, coming through with the swords. 10 of Swords, painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, defeat. All right, maybe I ran my mouth a little bit too much, but guess what? I'm gonna pop my collar because I'm telling the truth, and I'm tired of you. All right, so 7 and 10 brings what? 17. 17. So 17 might be the age in which this started, which this bullshit started at the age of 17. Once they decided that you were going to actually going to be an actual contribution to the society, they decided to take your contribution to society and use it for their sacrifice. So now you have been eaten up by them. And be it as may, because you had free will and you chose to go in with the King of Cups, now you're coming into painful endings. That's Gemini energy. Grab it with 2 arms. You need to hug yourself, because I don't think you're going to get another hug from somebody else in a long damn time. Painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, defeat. This is in Capricorn energy. I don't know what to tell you. It might be by Gemini. I mean, might have been in January, which is in Capricorn, but Capricorn energy. Capricorn is late December, early January. Capricorn is also my youngest, but yeah, definitely so. So the answer is no. So we got the Taurus, the Aquarius, and the Pisces out here with Gemini energy. And yeah, that's how it goes. I'm going to show you all the cards right now so you see what I got going on. And there it is. Fire, water, fire, water. So somebody's in the hot seat. Somebody is in boiling water, or at least they're boiling. Somebody's blood is boiling, or they're hot. You hot? Are you sweating at least? Put on a fan. All right, these are the cards. There you go, Capricorn. Here you go. Look, I ain't come to tell you nothing but the truth, So help me, God, because guess what? I ain't got nothing to invest in, y'all. Serves me no purpose. The fool just popped out. I don't know why the fool just popped out. Maybe somebody acting a fool. Somebody make me feel like I'm a fool. But guess what? I am not the fool. I might have been the fool who was fooling you because you thought I was the fool. Now you look like the tool. Oh, I forgot to announce my alphabets the other day. I am now a certified professional life coach. I did graduate. It's wonderful, beautiful. I'm loving my new certification. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you very, 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 very much. Very, very, very much. It was so hard because I like kind of waited till the last minute because I kind of knew the work. And it was hard trying to tell my teacher, like, I've already got like 400 clients, so it's like kind of hard to do this. You understand? So thank you to my subscribers. Like, share, and subscribe. Add in subscribe if you'd like to, because we're here to raise the vibration and tell on these suckers, because they be gossiping about us. They be talking about our panty drawers. That's why we don't want to give it to them no more, because they still going to talk about it. Oh yeah, that might have incited a lot of things too. You might have cut somebody off from your hanky panky, and they're going to drag it to the hilt. You'll be in court. Make sure you just keep your receipts. It'll come out good for you. All right, so we've got the 7 and 1 out here for the 8 before we go on to Aquarius. And we've got the 7, which is challenge, competition, protection, perseverance, defense, maintaining control. Then we've got the Ace of Wands, new project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, and growth. And that is the truth roof. We've got Leo energy, and that's the only energy that is right here. Proud, loud, and hey. Loud, proud, and sound. Okay, having on that yellow, trying to make sure Oshun is available. All right, let's go. This one has some thing growing out of it. It looks a little weird, but creativity looks like that. Sometimes creativity doesn't look like you think it looks. Sometimes it's got to look a little weird. It's got to look a little standoffish, because guess what? If you were able to pull everybody, then how can you decipher who's not for you? That means you're going to pull in the enemies and you're going to pull in the friends. So discernment needs to come in so that you can make sure you wither them down, so that you can get to your actual real circle. Yes, there will be people surrounding you, but you actually need to get to your authentic circle. Okay? So yes, and we're only supposed to have one spouse. So if you have a spouse and they want to go and they no longer like you and it's mutual, even if it's not mutual, let that person go. There is someone that is specially made for you. You should not be forcing a person into a relationship that is low vibrational, and an entity can enter by way of that. That is called desperation, lack mentality, and scarcity. So one way or other, somebody's going to get affected with that scarcity. So if both people are healed and both people are amicably about to walk away, there is no chance for an entity to grab onto either one of you, and you both can go on to good relationships. However, if someone should decide to hold on, it can create a situation, and it can create a portal in which other people who are low vibrational can come in and attack. Hope this makes sense to you. All right, let's go, Aquarius. Let's go, Aquarius, with your funky tail. Let's go. Aquarius. Oh, wow, I wanted to say notorious. All right, okay, so let's see what's that energy. Woo, that's pretty. All right. Dang, we getting the same numbers coming out. 7 and 1, 7 and 1, 7 and 1, 7 to the 8, 7 and 1 to the 8. So we got 7 and a 1. Now we got an 8. All right, so this is a maybe, and this is Scorpio, opportunities, wishful thinking, choices, illusions, searching for purpose, daydreaming. Daydreaming and thinking of you. There's somebody who's daydreaming and they're thinking of someone. It's unrequited love. I think this person is daydreaming because they think that they have to have all these things in order to find love. Are you rich in your heart, or are you poor in your mind? Are you rich in your heart or are you poor in your mind? Okay, so somebody has unrequited love. I don't know it's because they have these riches or it's because they lack thereof. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to lead with your pocket, there's going to be a hard chance in you finding love, especially when a person is just looking for your hand. They're never looking for your heart. So if you led with your hand and you did not lead with your heart, it might be time to cut them off, and it might be time to cut off that type of dating or that type of introduction. If you're dating like that, are you dating or are you prostituting in reverse? Because these same people will get upset when people start just looking for their hand, but this is how you introduced yourself. And that goes back to what I was talking about with the trick baby. Trick baby. Some people only make kids for the money. Now, this is why you would see a younger person, a younger attractive person making a bunch of kids because they really don't want to work. And the kids, by way of profession of the father, is their meal ticket. They can not go to work and just make sure that the kids are fed. And as long as the kids present well, when the fathers pull up, they can ask for X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third. And they don't really have to get a job. So they're going to depend on these kids to bring their money about. And it looks like having a kid in like schedules. They wait for a few to age out and then they go have some more. They don't mind. They're great. They're always open for like unprotected sex because there's a chance that they might get another investment. They might get trap another paycheck under their belt. I remember this happening. I remember there was a nurse that wanted to retire at one of the places that I worked at. And she already had 3 kids by 3 different guys. And the guys were gone. Like, for some reason, all the guys were on child support. She made sure they were on child support, but no one paid attention that was her gambit. So she started working for a little while because I guess the kids were about to age out, a year about to age out, and she was trying to get pregnant before the kids aged out. However, she did finally trick one of the co-workers into getting her pregnant. However, it was the wrong co-worker, so that didn't go well. Either way, she did trick one of the co-workers into getting her pregnant, and she doubled it for both of them. So she got pregnant with twins, right? And the bad part about that was she got pregnant with twins by a person who didn't want no kids. See, so you got to be careful with witchcraft in those intentions because they backfired. Because even though she wanted the kids for the money, she ended up just having 2 kids. She only wanted 1 kid to continue a paycheck. So she ended up having 2 kids and a really bad child's father. So that didn't go in her. So you got to be careful why you having kids, because you might think you're trapping a person into paying for your lifestyle, but that person can walk off, quit their job. They could get fired. God forbid, freak accidents don't happen. I'm not on wood, but you know what I'm saying? Like, stop doing things with intentions on trapping other people. If you're not having a child because you plan on loving and nourishing and growing this person from pure intentions, it's kind of the wrong way to have a child because you're now opening up a portal. Anything can happen with this child. This child can turn out to be a karmic by way of you just having a karmic beginning. A lot of kids don't know that they were only had as a way to housing. A lot of men are making kids as a form of housing. It's not that they want to be at that house all the time. It's just that they want access to that house. So a lot of kids are basically the department. A lot of men are the department of housing in that way, and where they shooting up the club. And guess what? Everybody who caught one gets visited. I can spend the night over this one's house. I can open this fridge. This one got stamps. I know because I don't got no license, shit like that. You understand? So some people baby trap you, vice versa. Men baby trap way more, I'm finding out, than women, because we're the ones that get stuck with their asses, whether or not we get the check or not. And women are baby trapping because they don't really want to work. And if they can get food stamps in cash without really having to push it to the max or really pursue education, which you're really not encouraged to do because you're under a strict, monetary guideline. So really, they love it there. I have to put in low effort. You know what I mean? The men love it there because if he really want to be dirty to you, he can just report the fact that he be up in your house, because really you're not supposed to have a spouse when you're on these government assistance. You're not supposed to have the man in the house eating the food or laying up with you, burning the gas and electric when you are using the government to pay for your housing. So there's a lot of karmic energy in that. There are men trying to use you for your stuff, and then there are women trying to use you. And some of these men want full custody because now they figured out, if I just be the baby mother, I can get rid of this woman. So good luck with that. So yeah, in Aquarius season, that's just what this is. There is an Aquarius ghetto-ass man who wants to either take the kids from the woman so that he could be the baby mother. He wants the benefits. He wants to run the children. He wants the option to triangulate these kids with other relationships, because what he's no doubtably going to do with these kids is put them in other women's phases. Either he's going to brag on them or he's going to nag on them by way of the mother, and he's going to send out different types of vibrations depending on what gets him a bed or some head. He's going to be using these kids to have sex and infiltrate people's homes. He's going to be using these kids for sympathy. He's going to be using these kids to get, oh, they so cute. I think you a good daddy. Let me give you some, daddy. Next thing you know, he's got another house and another couch, and that is not even a spouse. He's not going to marry you. He likes that. And then on top of that, you really got to be careful, because why would you let him shoot up the club? This man does not want to be settled. You understand? This person does not want to be settled, and he might be DL. Now, a person that wants that much control and actually does do things in order to become the baby mother, he might, in fact, be one of those dark triads that wants to break down the family unit and then become mommy dad or daddy mom. I don't know what the hell that's called, but he does. Now, keep in mind, I don't mind the couples, the same couples that do adopt and actually healthily raise a child. But keep in mind, there are situations where there are men that desire to be women. However, they do not want to act it out in the physical. They don't want to get the sex change. They don't want to wear the dress. They don't want to put the makeup on. However, they do want to behave as women. They want to be throttled like women. They want to be taken care of like women. And they want the entitlement of women. They want that, even to the point of they're willing to hurt a woman by way of that. Remember that guy that went into Gold's Gym and he kept going in there and making the women uncomfortable on purpose, and then he wasn't even in the middle of taking nothing. He was claiming he was transgender just to go in the women's bathroom and piss people off. And then he took his wife's last name as his gender name. It's his transgender name. His wife's name was Alexis. He changed his transgender name to Alexis. I no doubt think if he was to ever get a sex change, he would actually go try to hit on his ex-wife's boyfriend, because that is how bad the trans community has gotten when it comes to that sort of trans. They will triangulate anybody, including their exes, because it's a vengeance thing. It's a vengeance thing. There will be no satisfaction come about if there's an entity attached, because the entity its job is consumption, is to consume you in your life force. So you will not know why you are doing reckless things endlessly. It's because that thing is on you, and it's going to ride you till the wheels fall off. And as soon as you fall apart, it'll detach. And then everybody will be looking at you, and you'll be the only one to blame. Okay, Aquarius. So someone has a sex demon attached to them, and by way of a needle or by way of sex. Look, wands. So somebody takes a lot of wands. They like it. They're having a lot of sex. There's no protection on the crown. None. Yeah. Mental clarity, breakthroughs, newness, new ideas, success, sharp mind, new conflict, surgery. Yes. Speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, air travel. Yep. Through the air. Somebody getting an airdrop. Somebody got an Apple phone. They airdrop him. Making me ball him out. I twisted my hair last night. I just sat there and I was like, I didn't want to leave it halfway because I would have looked like Brother Sunshine from Martin. So I didn't want to do that. So I just kept on twisting. So it came out pretty cute. I'm not leaving it this way. I don't know what to do. So I just want to put a nice deep conditioner in it and then just keep it going. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and that. And yeah, 718. That's the 8, 88, 16, 7. That's 7 again. 718. That came up to a 7 again. So something is complete was the 7 days of the week. It's somewhere that somebody sees somebody about 7 days a week. Somebody sees somebody all the time. Or they go and they meet up all the time and talk about it. Or they just have sex every day. Or as much as they can. What do you think about it every day? That is a sex demon. You got to have it every day. You can't function without it. And you need it that much. And you're taking it from that many people. You are now a cesspool. All right. So we got the lovers just jumped out here. The hermit. And we're getting into Pisces. The lovers. The hermit. Whew. Love, harmony, relationship, union, partnership, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, choice, the strength of two together, soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, consciousness. That was a lot of words. However, we got Gemini and Virgo energy out here, which we got a 6 and a 9. A 6 and a 9. I'm not lying to you. I would not lie to you. We got a 6. And we got a 9. 69 God, you a 69 God. Okay, they say it's 69 God, so I believe they're talking about a Cancer. I believe they're talking about a Cancer. I swear when they say the 69 God, not even, or it's talking about duality. We're talking about the Baphomet. Something about duality. All right, Pisces, jump up, jump up, jump up, jump up, jump, jump, jump. The Mac Daddy make you jump. Jump. All right. Jump. And you see what happened to Chris, to Chris. Woo! I wasn't supposed to look at that fast. Woo! Remember what happened to Chris Cross, how one of them turned their life to God, and then one of them real bad. It was a light skin and a dark skin one. It's something like that. And the light and the dark, And you know, a lot of us in our families, we got light and dark. We got a little light kid and we got a little dark kid. I had a dark kid and I got a light kid. I still got my light kid. The dark kid gone. So you know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. So it's something like that. There's a lot of family dynamics where one of the kids is good and one of the kids is bad. And unfortunately, if you had a whole bunch of kids, you got to figure out which ones is which. Okay, because it's interchangeable, right? Especially if you have parenting styles that are avoidant. If you have latchkey kids and you have parents that are kind of narcissistic, malignant narcissists, parents that just had kids for survival. Some kids, you will find out some parents only had kids for housing. Some parents only had kids for money. You understand? And a lot of us are finding that out. We were only had for housing and money. I always personally felt like my mother had me because she couldn't take care of her first 2 kids. So I was the means to take care of the first 2. Not that she planned on it, planned on, is just like, I think I was the one that was planned. The other 2 wasn't. So it was like, I was the way to take care of the other 2. And I guess because of the way, whatever, Pops carried or whatever, she on some other shit. Anyway, she ain't never get over that. So she better than the motherfucker. All right. I'd stay away. I digress. All right. So now we pulling up this Pisces. By the way, happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. So now we got the sun. Damn. I gotta look proud. Damn. All right, so now we got the sun, then we got the 6 of Cups, then we got the devil. I can lie to you not. All right, so we got the sun that came out in Pisces, right? Positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, all is well. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I happen to have Pisces in my chart placement. I am a Gemini, but I do have Pisces in my chart placement. However, I know a Pisces, and it took a long time for me to forgive Pisces because I don't really know too many Pisces who haven't tried to cross me, but that's another story for another time. Either way, we got the sun here and we got positivity, which is me, which is we. Yeah. Yes, it's with it. Is that you? Because it's me too. Yeah. Anyway, so now we've got familiarity Happy memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy, nostalgia. So someone is coming back into contact with their family values and their childhood dreams and aspirations, as well as the traumatization that happened in their family. All right, so someone, excuse me, is currently taking a little walk down memory lane. However, we don't know if it's a good walk or not because this bad boy came right on out right at the end of that, right? So somebody might be going through trying to be nostalgic, having childhood memories, and they're remembering the parts of themselves that they tried to leave behind, the parts of themselves that they tried to bury deep, the parts that hurt the worst. Someone was hurt as a child. Someone was hurt very badly by the people that they trusted. They internalized that hurt, and instead of ever letting go of that hurt grew. That hurt grew into some kind of cancer, some type of autoimmune disease. It is maybe turned into lupus. It might have turned into sickle cell. It might have turned into cancer. It might have turned into hernitis. It might have turned into some type of lymph node. It might even turn into an STD or a sexually transmitted demon. However, if the hurt should ever be let go, they may have a chance for healing, or they may have a chance to heal someone else. Sometimes I get it. Things hurt when you're a child, and if you happen to remember it, it causes pain over and over again. But if you do not let that go, you will transmit it to someone else who does not deserve it. Or in worst case scenario, it will sit, it will fester, and it will rot in you. This is how we're coming up with people who have Crohn's disease and things of that nature. It's not always your sin that brought about that karma, but it was some karma that was passed down. This is why you have to talk to your elders, and sometimes, and you can't be so accepting of when elders are wrong. We have to start calling the elders out for being wrong and leading the youth astray, because this is the issue. The elders are not being called out. They're not being exposed. They're not being left by the wayside. Instead, they are actually instructing you to leave the others by the wayside that would expose them and tell the truth about what really happened. There are some people who are actually leveraging information, having you attack the victim, and you are sitting there helping the suspect. And sometimes in the way of these things, there's a witness in the middle that actually got affected by the suspect, but because they cannot say anything to the victim, because the suspect has threatened them never to say anything, or else it will be them that they victimize. You see what I'm saying? So some are very aware of what the suspect is doing and is capable of, but because they cannot stand up or will not stand up for the victim, because they don't want to be victimized or victimized even worse than they have already been affected, they will stand and let the danger happen, because they will say, at least it's not me. Or they will say, I cannot take anymore, instead of grouping up with the victim and going against the suspect and putting it to rest. You have to cut out the head of the snake. You have to start from the root. Because if we keep allowing the subsections to absorb all of this, then what's left at the top? There you go. So I'm going to explain this card. I hate holding it out like that. I'm just going to, cover the naked parts. All right. So we've got Devil Energy, the 15, and it says shadow, self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. These are all the things that you come into alignment with when you're sitting by the low side, the shadow self, meaning you want to hide the fact that you may be weird or you might be scared. You want to hide the fact that someone threatened you and you're too scared to come through with the truth. That's your shadow self. The attachment, you want to hide the fact that that you are scared to not be with this group or that group because you feel sad to be alone. You don't want anybody to know that you're scared to be alone. You also don't want any know that nobody to know that you're addicted to something. Either it be sugar, either it be attention, either it be sex, either it be drugs. You are addicted, or you're addicted to secrecy, or you have a corn addiction. It's something you're addicted to that's opening you up to these attacks. Restriction, you feel restricted. You will not talk. You won't talk of the things that are important, yet you talk about the things that you understand. You restrict yourself. You restrict yourself from the good places because you always want to go into the bad places. Sexuality. You don't, that's the restriction too. You restrict yourself from being natural, from being loved. You tell yourself you become a prude, and you become a prude in the spirit. You look down on others for having love. You look down on others for having children out of wedlock, but it's not your business. You look down on others for choosing to be in same-sex relationships, but it's not your business. That's the restriction. You judge others by way of restricting happiness from them. You don't want people to be happy. You are a happiness hater by restriction. Sexuality, you're confused. And by way of confusion, you judge other people. Because you feel as though you might like girls, you judge people who are lesbians. Because you feel as though you might like boys, you judge other people who are gay. You are confused, and you are exputing that stuff on other people who know who they are. They can admit it in the name of Christ. They can go before the Lord's people and tell you exactly what happened with them. But you and all your stature and all your shows, you like to put on a show and pretend that you are perfect, although you are falling apart because you want to go and you want to live like these people live. You want to be free like these people are. But because you tell yourself that you stand in perfect judgment, which is the Pharisee spirit, you decide that this is what you'll use against people, even though you're falling apart because you have things that you're not able to get to because you judge people. So you judge yourself, so you keep yourself from things that would free you. How dare you? False imprisonment. Temptation. You are tempted by things that are unnatural. You have tabooish spirit. You look at other people's wives. You look at other people's husbands. You covet other people's jobs. You cover other people's lifestyle. You don't like that person's car. You don't like that person's swag. You don't like that person's smile. You don't like the way their kids hug them. You don't like the way that they make their bed every day. You don't like the way that they sweep they front. You don't like the way that they throw away their trash. That is the temptation to do something. The seduction. You're seduced by the youth of people that you shouldn't even be looking at. You sit and you goggle. You sit and you ogle at people who are not yours. I remember this man called me so many B's and said he would do this, that, and the third for me. And all I could see when he finished talking was sexual energy. That man did not hate me. He hated the fact that he couldn't have me. And it was maddening because his woman was sitting right there and she really thought that it was cute that he was coming at me because she thought he was protecting her. Honey, I was being attacked because he would rather be with me than with you. And that was crazy. I've had a man come in my face and say, I slap you, and then go across the street and say I couldn't slap her because I felt like she was so pretty. But he had to say it in front of his girlfriend because he had to make her feel as though he would never talk to a girl like that. He would never be with a woman like that. However, that's all he ever wanted. That's all he ever wanted ever since he laid eyes on it. But because he can't have it, he wants to destroy it by force. He is willing to recruit anybody to destroy this thing he can't have. He cannot make that woman into her. He cannot call in a woman like her. So the one that he's seen, he got to destroy it so he could go back to his reality of misery. And he'll use that woman that he had to try to destroy it. He'll use anybody to try to destroy that one woman he desires but can't get. So you be careful helping these men go after these women, because you helping him chase your replacement. And God forbid you end up in jail and she's still out free. He's still trying to get to her, and he's not going to be worried about paying your bill. He's going to find another low vibrational woman to take up his cross and bear his cross with him. and you will rot in jail. Kids or not. All right, so there you go with that Pisces energy. Let me do the counts. It's a lot of number here. A lot of number here. That's 16. That's 21. 19. Also going to take the 1. That's 40. So that's 4. So that is foundation childhood. Yes, that's definitely all the way. Yeah. And that's what that was. Yeah. So somebody has deep rooted things that they got going on. They need to go see a psychotherapist. Somebody needs a mental evaluation. Someone needs a psychotherapist. Someone needs a psychiatrist. Someone needs a counselor. Someone needs an actual licensed professional. I would not stop at I'm not the coach for you. You need something higher, baby. Higher. A life coach is for when you've already figured all the insides out, and we're just here to support you with your outside. There's someone who needs to do some intense shadow work, some very intense, and they need some guidance to do it. I suggest this person go in for higher professional help. Honestly, they might even need to be prescribed a medication or something. I don't know, because it might be a chemical imbalance and it might be a trigger or something. Either way, this person needs to go and do a workup. They need to do a panel and see if they have their chemicals is together. Make sure, because that a chemical imbalance can be that. And if a person has been having unprotected sex and they have been susceptible to urinary infections, that can do madness, drive a person mad. That is a mad king's disease, that urinary infection. A urinary infection can bring lower back pain and periods of derision. All right. So let's keep going. We just did Pisces. Let's do Aries. Let's go. Emperor energy. All right. At the bottom, we got strength and resilience. So somebody hold on, have strength and resilience. It's not the end of the world. It's not too late to turn back if you found yourself made a mistake or something like that. But just know, if things have already played out, you do have to take that karma. You do have to let those things play out. You do have to take the results. You have to take what you basically dealt yourself and move on from that. From that, you should be able to move on better. Don't dig your hole any deeper. Right now, I have heartbreak, and I still got that strength at the bottom. Heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, depression. So somebody might be in a heart fog. And we've got the 8 and 3. Wow. We've got the 8 and 3. Somebody might be 38. Somebody might be born in 83. Here it is. And then we've got the master 11, the master number 11. There might be somebody born August the 3rd, August the 30th. We got Leo and Libra out here, the 2 L's. You might take a L. All right, somebody might have took an L. Yeah, somebody might have took an L. Heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, depression. And this is between Pisces and Aries. And this is the 3rd. So we just had that 3-3 portal with March the 3rd. So we got this 8 and a 3. Might be a Leo, might be a Aries, which is Aries. We're doing Aries right now. So we're perfectly on time with the Aries. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. We started off in Sagittarius. We're going to end in Scorpio. All right. So Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Woo, 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 Aries. I told you about Aries season. It was going to be coming in love. Knight of Pentacles. We got Aries and Taurus. Hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, responsibility. King of Pentacles. We got Leo and Virgo energy here. Wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, generosity, prosperity. I put those words backwards. I don't know why I put prosperity before generosity. I don't know why. But generosity does need to come before prosperity sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. Then we got speed, rapid. Oh, we got the 8 right here with that rapid action. And this is the only number on the board right now. So it's an 8 and it's in Sagittarius. So it's very karmatic right now. Somebody's getting dharma for love. Somebody is actually going to be stepping into a nice divine union very, very, very soon. Honey, honey, honey. Yes, yes, yes. And we've got Sagittarius, Leo, Virgo, Taurus, and Aries in the chart. We have 5. We have 5, 5, 5. So that's the month of May. So we might have a Gemini included in this situation. That is the month of May. All right, Aries, that's it. You're about to step into love, and it's moving fast. Just be careful of your offers. Look at the details, and be careful of the people who come in and try to give you advice about your lover, and be careful of intention. Some people want your lover back, and some people want you back, and some people just don't want to see you happy. Be invested in the information that you take, and take it apart. Take it apart. That's what you have research for. So know why people are coming to give you advice. Know what the benefit is and what the loss is of this advice. And when all else fails, know your person. Get to know your person before you make any preconceived judgments. Because guess what? The same way you can preconceive a judgment, they can preconceive a judgment about you. Boom, there you go. Excuse me, Karma. I apologize. The belches. Yeah. Ooh, piggy, piggy. Piggy, piggy. Somebody a piggy? Or they acting like a pig? Pigs like mud. Pigs like to wallow around in the dirt. Is somebody a piggy or somebody a handler? Somebody likes to roll around in the dirt? Or somebody just dirty? They're a pig, or they act like a pig, or they live in a pigsty. Because you know they have a lot of attractive women that don't clean up, and they live in a pigsty, and they always want something to eat. I can't cook in no dirty kitchen. Which I just heard him. Alex! Woo! How was he? Okay. Well, that was really fast. Ooh, then we got a 10 of swords, and we got an 8 of cups at the bottom, which is 18, which is 9. 9 divine, 9 divine, 9 of the divine, 9 of the divine. So we got somebody using divination. Somebody's using divination to try to bring a painful ending and a betrayal and a loss. Somebody is disappointed because they're getting a backfire from this divination. Minerva, is it? Is somebody praying to, is there an Eastern Star? Or is there one of those Alpha, Kappa, Kappa, Alpha, Abba, Baba, Delta? It's a Delta. It's a Delta. It's one of those. Divination. So by some is a divination user. Painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, defeat. So someone's using someone who has a Gemini Pisces, who has Gemini Pisces in their chart, is a divination abuser. Because I got 9 out of this. And disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, walking away, leaving behind. So there is an extreme backfire about to happen for a divination user. Ultimate completion, final manifestation, result of true will, recognition, continuation, realization, endings. Second card. Manifestation, practicality, skill, absolute decisions, business, the ego. So somebody is needing to go through a painful ego collapse. Or it's collapsing by way of whatever divination they use. Third deacon Gemini. I wonder what that means. So we've got air, water, air. That's usually a hurricane. That's usually strong winds. That's usually snow, precipitation, hailstorms, a hailstorm. So maybe somebody's crying a hailstorm due to this divination backfiring. Or somebody's got the anger of a hailstorm due to this divination backfiring. Take what resonates. Whoa, and they keep coming back out. Whoa, no. Because we just finished Aries, and that's crazy because we're in Taurus, and it's just so ghetto. All right, so we got this Aquarius and this Pisces and this Gemini pop back out with this King of Cups and this 10 of Swords. So somebody really out here sticking it to folks, and it's a 10 of Swords, so it's the end of the cycle, but it's a lot of people's heart broken. It's a lot of people feeling betrayed. They feeling like they stuck in their back. Whoever you went into these councils and these groups with, they gave it to you. They gave you the business. Or you gave yourself the business by way of your agreements. All right, so now we got something about the 5 in a hermit mode. All right, Taurus, we about to get into you in a second. I ain't even pulled your cards. I'm looking at the 2 bottom, the 2 that was at the split. The 2 that was at the split. So somebody's got a split personality, or some people are about to split. Somebody's about to split. My pink and my blue nail. Male and female. Somebody is about to split, or they have a split personality. It's something like that. Something about duality. I was saying that about that. So it's something about duality. And you know, most of my nails are a variation of pink. It's just the only one that's blue. So emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic control. So this is a King of Cups that's about to go off because he feel like stabbing in the back, or he's stabbing somebody in the back by way of this Aquarius, Pisces, or Gemini. This was not a good plan. Not at all. It wasn't. All right. So regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, grief, loss, instability, exaggeration, overexertion, strife, changes, freedom, loss. That's that 5. After I drew that 10, right? So it's a split. Something's about to split. Something's about to reduce into half. All right. All right, Taurus, let me get your card. Dang. It's a Taurus in my energy. Out of these 5 cards, I got one dark horse on the second. Let me say it again. Out of 5 cards that just flew out, I got one dark horse on the second card. And what's on the dark horse? An Aries Taurus. I lied to you not. What's on the dark horse? An Aries Taurus. So if somebody, it's a dark horse. It's an Aries Taurus energy that's coming through with a dark offer. You see that dark horse with that pentacle? Nah, son. It ain't getting through here. All right. We got the, I'm going to read off the cards and then I'm going to actually pull the cards for Taurus because this just popped out. We got the King of Pentacles, then the Knight of Pentacles. Then we had the 8 of Wands, and we had the Ace of Swords. Then we had the 9 of Cups, which come true. Mental clarity, speed, hard work, wealth. Right. So this King of Pentacles was supposed to be doing something with this Knight of Pentacles and fast action. But the mental clarity came through and actually made the wish come true. The mental clarity, something went with speed. Leo, Virgo. All the characters is out on the board. It's a Leo, is a Virgo. By way of Scorpio. Aries, Taurus, Sagittarius, Pisces. That's not Scorpio, that's Virgo. Earth and fire, scorching the earth. This little bit of water means nothing. So y'all don't have no intuition about this one here. You ain't got no juice. That's why it's not coming through. Okay, now I see. Somebody's being starved out or dried out. Somebody's drying out. Might be liquor, might be water, might be money, might be resources. Somebody's drying out, or they're running out of people. They're running out of something. Somebody's drying out. Remember, I said the water was running out of the thing, and it was like a leak. It was a leak. So maybe that's what it is. Somebody is drying out. They got it's like a hole in a pocket, something like that, or a hole in a bucket. Somebody's drying out, or it's like a hole. Their reserves are being drained. That's what their reserves are being drained. They're being drained. Somebody's being drained of their power and their wealth. It might be the King of Pentacles. It might be that. Let me see. It was that King of Pentacles to that Knight of Pentacles. Is drying out the wealth. Those two are drying out the wealth. Or they're at least trying to. All right, so let's get this started, Taurus, so I can get out of here because we got things to do. All right, Taurus, what's going on with yourself? Oh, we got Gemini straight out here. Then we got the 2 of Swords. Then we got the 8. All right, the 8 of Strength. Okay, we got Gemini, which is the lovers. Love, harmony, relationship, union, partnership, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, a choice of strength of 2 together. Difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, deadlock. Strength, courage, passion, subtle power, persuasion, influence, inner strength, focus, compassion. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm being such a piggy, belching so much. All right, we got 628, 628. We got June 28th. We got June 28th. We got 62. We got 68. Those are the ages. We got 28. Nope. I don't see 28. I don't. Even if it is somebody who's 28. They're not that heavily invested. I got Libra energy for that. We got 62, 68, 62, 68. Damn, somebody that old in it? I don't believe so. Well, they could be born in 68. They could be born in 62. They could be born in 82. They could be born in 86. Let's put these numbers together. 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 8, that's 16. Which brings that to 7. So, either the age of 7, something happened by the age of 7 to where this Taurus is something about the lovers, the Libra, and the Leo. This Taurus used to be love. And a difficult decision happened where they weighed their options and they avoided and they went into deadlock with this situation. And right now they're encouraged to have strength as they go through and make a choice. There's a choice to be made for a Taurus. They have a very hard choice to make. This is a Taurus. I see Gemini, Libra, and Leo. This is Taurus's reading. Whoever this Taurus is going to need to have strength as they make whatever this decision they have to make during this time. But this Taurus used to be reasonable. They used to be a lover. Right now they got to stand on their strength. Let me see something. Let me read the sides of these cards. Let's see. It'll make sense. Balance, home, and responsibility. Duality, togetherness, a settling of energy, union, love, balance, power, strength, and control. So yeah, someone in this Taurus energy needs to recalibrate, reevaluate where their stance is and go forward from there. Be strong when you make your decision. I can't sway you one way or another because I don't know what you have going on in your personal life, so just please take what resonates. But this is a Taurus started off as a lover. They have a difficult decision to make. They have to weigh their options and avoidance and deadlock. So maybe they've been an avoidant. They're avoiding making this decision. They're avoiding standing on one side or the other, or they're just deadlocked in the middle. However, they need to make a choice, and they're going to need to be strong about whatever choice they make. Hope this helps. All right, let's go, Gemini. Woo-hoo! We here. Sabotage, you built an entourage. The information part, I see through this facade. One day you came into my life. You had me going, you really had me going. You trained your dreams to dim my light. You had me going, you really had me going. I was so deep in love with all the thrall of it. I didn't don a glove, but then you threw a fit. I wasn't ready for a fight. You took off first, I took a flight. Yeah, you never do apologize. We always hurt like through the night. I wanna show, but I'm too shy. I hide my face, creates an alibi. Sabotage, you built an entourage. The information part, I see through the facade. Woo. You had me going, you really had me going. I was so deep in love with all the thrall of it. You didn't don a glove, but then you threw a fit. I wasn't ready for a fight. You took off first, I took a flight. You never do apologize. We always hurt like through the night. You want to show, but I'm too shy. I hide my face, creates an alibi. Sabotage, you built an entourage, the intimation part, I see through the facade. Somebody's trying to screw my words up. I said sabotage. You built an entourage. The information pod, I see through the facade. That's what I said. And here's this good old Ten of Swords just popped out. And Gemini energy. And we're reading for Gemini. Yay! Okay, so painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, defeat, blah, 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 blah. Somebody feels this in their heart of hearts. Or there might be a Gemini who's basically been walking around in duality, trying to confuse the situation with information through an entourage by social engineering a whole group of losers. They've finally found their crowd. However, this is the situation. They've had to find their crowd by way of lies and manipulation. Once the people come to the realization that this is the person that is in fact making them go through extra chaos that they wouldn't have ever had to go through had they not even come into agreement with this person, they'll realize that now this is when people will get away from them. So there's a Gemini attacking another Gemini amongst other Geminis, and they're really good at harvesting this one damn sign. They go in and they act friendly and they ask a bunch of questions, spit fire hard, and they're kind of aggressive. So you're thinking that this person is trying to be your friend. No, this person is basically trying to take narration of the conversation straight away so that they can ask you a few prying questions. When's your birthday? What's your sign? What you do? How you make money? Right? It seems like an interview, and it's a whole bum that you're letting interview you. However, you're answering these questions, right? And this person is taking this situation and they're asking you to friend them on social media. And then next thing you know, you're in agreements with some bullshit and you did not know it because you decided to friend this person and they got you in the group chat. And if you don't do what they want you to do, guess what? They're going to start talking that shit about you. Because the reason why they start talking to you was that they liked your purse. They liked your hair. They liked your shoes. They liked your man. They liked your child. They liked your car. They liked this. They liked that. But they didn't have anything for you to like. Or they never stopped talking long enough for you to like any goddamn thing. They just asked you a bunch of questions and you left there confused because you were like, hold up. I thought I was having a conversation at first, but now I'm thinking about it, I didn't get shit from that conversation. This person just was all being nosy. Yeah, that's how it works. They just spit fire questions at you, and they never really answer too many questions about themselves, or if the information they do give you seem a little bit too deep, it's played. It's a twisted situation. They done use somebody else's history to feed to you because they just really wanted to be in your business. And that's how they do the witchcraft. And if you should ever go into disagreement with what they got you in agreement with, then they're going to start gossiping about you. Now, you ain't enough. Now, you ain't a Christian. Now, you don't know God. Now, you don't pray. Now, you a hoe. Now, you dirty. Now, you stink. Now, you want her man. Now, you want her hair. Now, you want her eyes. Now, you want this. Now, you want that. This is why you have to be careful when you go into agreement with people. I remember I had somebody come to my house, threaten me, and then go and tell somebody, oh, she's trying to do this to me. She's trying to do that to me. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have known you had you not kept interacting with me. Do you not know how weird that is for a person to cry victim after they force themselves into your energy? Honey, I still don't want to know you. Anyway, Gemini, let's go. Let's get this over with because we got a few more signs and we got to get out of here. Ace of Wands, Temperance, and we've got the Fruits of Labor. We got the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Virgo out here. We've got Sagittarius and Virgo out here. We got 1, 14, and 9. So we've got a 10 and a 14. So that means A 24, which is a 6, which is equal give and take, balance of the universe. We've got Temperance out here. New project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, growth. Yes, I wrote a new song last night and I'm back on my bully. So yeah. Balance, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, purpose, finding meaning. Yes, this is where we are, Gemini. I second that. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get them. And fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. It don't gotta be a lot, but as long as I ain't gotta ask nobody for shit, that's what's up. I hope you feel the same. Ain't gotta be a lot. It just gotta be enough for you to stay out folks' face. You ain't got to be phony with nobody if you can depend on yourself. You ain't gotta worry about nobody accepting you or rejecting you or nothing. As long as you can go into agreement with yourself and leave everybody else alone without manipulation, without lying, without anything else. If you could do that, that's what's up. Pound out. That's what's up. Let me take that back real fast because you know these comics be lying. They be like, I'm in alignment. You're lying ass. You're lying ass. Anyway, and I needed to say it like that. You're lying ass. Okay. Some people would just be, it's pathological liars out here. And they are really mentally disturbed. And y'all be giving them little pats on the backs and they be like, ooh, they believe me? Oh, they be going off like Super Saiyans. The minute you believe one lie from these bastards, they giving you 20 more lies. And even if you don't believe them and you still just like, okay, I believe you, little tink tink, and you don't believe them, they still get gas in their back. They're like, well, they ain't saying no. Let's go. And there they go, I'm marching. Woo, Gemini. Stay away from them haters, baby. You doing really good. Stay balanced. Stay out the way. For some reason, there's an unhinged Gemini after you, and they want to destiny swap with you. They want to take your essence. They want to take your energy because they're trying to figure out if they the same sign as you, why they don't operate like that. And it's not for them to operate like you. It's for them to learn how to operate like them. We are not the same. We might have the same signs, but we don't have the same parents. We don't have the same circumstances. We don't have the same idea. We don't have the same hair. We don't have the same eyes. We don't have the same anything. So you don't have to worry about being like me. Like I'm not worried about being like you. But it's a damn shame when a person can look at you and get mad for no damn reason and seek to destroy you for no damn reason other than y'all got the same sign and y'all not alike. So what, bitch? Anyway, I think I had to say that the way I said that because I'm a little frustrated at people coming at me that I don't know. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. And if I did learn your name, I forgot. I think Alex is trying to hint to me that we need to be getting ready to go. So we're going to get these last few signs going off. Our last sign is Scorpio, right? Okay. I threw that little thing. All right. Page of Cups. Queen of Cups. 10 of Cups. Yay! Why Gemini keep coming up here? So there's a lot of Geminis. Like somebody has went and like decided that they was going to tell a lot of people that they were a Gemini or try to operate in Gemini energy, but they not Gemini. So somebody is definitely lying about their birthday too. I remember I met a Cancer that was a Libra, that was a Libra, that was a Cancer. They kept lying about their birthday, and I kept asking them like, why your birthday change every time I turn around? I said happy birthday to you on the thing that I thought was your birthday, and you never responded. And she was like, oh, I tell people 2 different birthdays. I said, oh, so you just lie all the time. And she ain't never say nothing. I don't think she liked me after that because I told her, I was like, so you just lie all the time. But I'm that type of person. Like, I'm not going to hold my tongue when I'm like, you fucking weirdo. Like, I guess people be mad at me because I don't have that type of feel to it. I'm just going to, I don't try to say it to hurt your feelings, but if you lied, you did lie. I mean, what is it? Why did you lie? I mean, the truth would have set you free. You wouldn't have to remember that shit. So, I mean, whatever. So, yeah. So, we got this Cancer, Cancer, Page of Cups, Queen of Cups, So creative opportunities, intuitive messages, curiosity, possibility, happy surprise, dreamer, sensitivity, new love, compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, caring. So this is a Gemini Cancer. That is and a Pisces. So we got divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family, contentment, total love and support. So there is somebody who is actually going to get this in the summertime. So this is Cancer energy, and this is looking like Gemini. No, this is Pisces. Gemini Cancer right here. This Gemini Cancer on this card, Queen of Cups. And then this is Pisces right here. So this is like the highest love. So somebody's going into a very high intensity, high valued union. They're going into a very divine union toward the summertime. And this is giving Gemini Cancer energy. So they might have this in the chart, might not. But I see Pisces is a very highly intuitive sign. It is as above, so below. So because Pisces is the feet, we already know we up high. We up high on the realm of thinking. The third eye is open. Okay. Awakening to someone. Congratulations. Congratulations. Welcome to be here. Welcome to Love Island. Congratulations on your new union and your new love. I hope it is all that you've ever wanted it to be. Be careful with being consumed by it. And remember, if you do not have God or spirit in it to protect it, what are you doing? That's the only third party you need. You don't need your mother, brother, sister, cousin, aunts, uncles, friends, family. You don't need your dog, hog, none of that stuff. You should be able to go in without third party interferences. Remember, the first 3 years of any new relationship is going to be relentlessly under attack by people who do not understand your love, who do not want to understand your love, and do not want to see your love, because it makes their love look cheap. It makes their love look unauthentic. It makes them realize that they have rushed into agreement to something that they should not have been in agreement with. And a lot of times when people see a real relationship, they attack it. Hence Russell Simmons, Russell and Sierra. I'm sorry. Hence Russell them, and hence Clay and Megan. I believe Megan has been through too much shit that she shouldn't have be able to enjoy her husband or her soon to be husband. See, I'm speaking into existence. Oh my gosh. They getting married. Congratulations. They are getting married. Yup. That's about to be a good union. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Somebody's getting married. That was beautiful. So somebody is about to get into a very divine union. Like, I got a tear in my eye. Like, that is what's up. Okay. Ooh, and then somebody's hurt about it. Somebody is really hurt about this divine union that's about to come about. Somebody is really hurt because they never wanted to see that person happy, or they never wanted to see that person find somebody else besides them, something like that. So while I'm congratulating this lover and this wish fulfillment and this divine love and this harmony, there is somebody who is cracking open at the bow about this love. They do not want to see nobody in love. Damn. Hate much? Damn, that's energy. I'm feeling it in my other eye now. So it's somebody who's very upset about love. They don't like love. They don't want to see nobody in love. This person, and the worst part about it is this person might be married. So there might be a couple of married couples who hate to see other people in love. So they seek to destroy. They are there's couples that seek to steal, kill, and destroy. They don't seek union. They seek to destroy unions, and they seek to put together false unions. So this is specific to someone, and we are in Cancer's reading. So this is like spreading cancer through love. They are a cancer to love. This is why this is in Cancer's reading. You see this fish in a cup? This is why this shit is fishy. And I hadn't paid attention to it just now, because then I'm starting to look like, why does this love feel like somebody mad about it? And when I mentioned Sierra and then I mentioned Megan, it was like Somebody got pissed because they know what type of love I'm talking about. You can't hate on love. What, you gonna walk up in a woman's bedroom and take it out of her? Like, some people actually want to do that. They actually want to just interrupt somebody's happy time. Somebody want to just stop somebody's stuff. Like, somebody want to give somebody erectile dysfunction. Like, I don't never want you to get hard for your wife. I don't never want you to get wet for your husband. I don't never want you to do this. Like, somebody's a real hater in love. And it's crazy because they might actually have a mate. Yikes. Does she scrape you with her teeth? It might be on purpose. Either way, let's get back on track. So if you are joining a wonderful union, do your research on Osmodeus and protect yourself from all outside people who would not like to see you happy, who would not like to see you go into holy union, who don't want you to take care of your kids beyond how they done took care of their kids, who don't want you to take care of your husband beyond how they took care of their husband, who don't want you to take care of their wife, your wife, the way that beyond what they done treated their wife as, who don't want to see your house clean because they don't never want to clean up their house, who don't want you to have a yard because they don't have a yard, or if they do, they just don't want yours to look better than theirs. It's so many angles people have for being angry and dissatisfied and just spreading misery and just don't want other people to have anything or anything better than what they have. Stop looking at other people's things, please. People have a right to be happy, even though you are miserable. That person's happiness isn't in spite of your pain. They just happy. Stop looking at it with your pain. Hating ass Cancer. All right, let me go. Hate Cancer. Yeah, to all the Cancer survivors, fuck Cancer. And I said it. Send that old dirty, nasty ass back to the bowels of hell where it need to be from. Don't nobody ask to be sick like that. Don't nobody ask to be consumed like that. But for the people who can't get over it, there is help, there is comfort, there is medication, there are treatments. But for the people who are the cancer of our lives, go on, sit down somewhere. We don't need it. We don't need it. All right, done with them, done with them. Go on, go on. To the back of my neck. Leo, hi. All right, so now we've got Judgment here. Judgment here came in the middle of Cancer in Leo. All right, we've got Judgment here. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, mercy. Judgment. Order in the court. All right. We done did that. Trial and error. All right, so 20 is the 2, and that is equal balance. And 20 reduces to 2, and 2 is about balancing polarities. There's been too much extreme bad where there has been none of the extreme good. In order for balance to come back about, there needs to be extreme good happening because there's been too much extreme bad. Take what resonates. Oh, and we got that Hermit, which means a lot of people will be going into a hermit mode because we've forgotten how to interact with the people. Yeah, no one knows how to play on the freaking playground anymore. We've got a bunch of bullies out there throwing sand in all the good kids' eyes and telling them they're blind and stealing their glasses. Yeah, we got all these unruly kids out here on the playground. They're jumping off of seesaws after asking people to get on a ride with them. They're messing up people's reproductive parts, doing that crap on the seesaw. You know what I'm talking about, that seesaw love life, to get on, push and pull, jump off, entering your house, leaving you out of your house, jumping on people's beds, coming in your bed, that type of stuff. When someone asks you to get on the seesaw, you're actually in an agreement as a child. See, a lot of y'all didn't know how to play as children because nobody took you outside and taught you how to play with people. See, when you get on a seesaw with a person, you both are supposed to agree to get off the freaking seesaw together, or else someone gets hurt. You're supposed to get off the seesaw together or agree who goes down and who goes up before you dismount the seesaw. A lot of you have messed up other people's property and other people's private parts. Private parts? Yeah, private parts, because y'all went on a seesaw and ain't nobody know when you was going to dismount, and nobody knew when you was going to just jump off and let them fall and hurt themselves. A lot of y'all shouldn't have never got on the seesaw. Shouldn't have never been allowed to get on a seesaw. A lot of y'all wasn't worthy to get on the seesaw with. And I got Moon and Judgment back out here. So I just eliminated somebody's little dirty schemes. There are a lot of people who get into relationships to do balance situations, to do leverage situations. They're only getting into the situation so that they can have power over one or another, or a whole group, or a whole family. They study the family and they see what the benefits are, and they leverage it by way of ghosting sometimes, or the push and pull effect, or I'm going to leave you if you don't do X, Y, Z. That is not a good seesaw agreement to go on, because this person wants to threaten you by way of jumping off before you guys have come to agreement of dismount. Say I don't know what I'm talking about, because it's a Leo going through that. They can't dismount because their partner is going to jump off, or their partner is going to wait for them to stand above the thing and then stomp on that side and still hit their balls up. You see what I'm saying? There's somebody who's strategizing into a relationship, not for the relationship, but for the benefits of the up and down. They can get benefits if this person goes up, and they can also get benefits if this person goes down. Leo energy. I said it. Don't get mad at me. I don't know you personally, but what I do know is I didn't tell no damn lie. It's an unequal power dynamic going on right now. Oh, damn. Somebody resting in style. Somebody got a nice ass bed. What is this? The Sleep Master 5000? Look, it's like golden. Somebody gets a golden sleep. Goddamn, sleeping like ocean. Shit. Somebody got a Midas touch. Somebody got nice high dreams. Rest, relaxation, meditation, contemplation, recuperation, retreat, renewal, solitude. Somebody got some golden dreams. Somebody, they make money in their sleep. They that. Somebody got that Leo energy, baby. Leo Libra energy. Yeah, baby. Somebody got that, and it's a 4. Somebody got that from childhood. From childhood, they've always been abundant from the inside out. It really doesn't matter the money, because they can get it. They can actually start a life from scratch and get it 5 different times, and you still will be looking like, damn, how they get that first dollar? This is this person, and it's Leo energy. And then we got the Page of Pentacles. Excuse me. Manifestation, financial opportunity, skill development, ambition, desire, diligence, heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, depression. I told you about that dismount. So we got Libras on both sides. Damn, this the scale. Somebody getting rest and somebody fucked up. I'm sorry I got to speak like that, but I think this is what I'm channeling. That's how they speak. 43. So somebody's 43 or 34. I lie to you not. This is the numbers. 43 or 34, we got Libra energy on both sides. What came out in the middle was the Page of Pentacles. Manifestation, financial opportunity, skill development, ambition, desire, diligence. All right, so either somebody's getting divorced, or they broke up already, or they going through the proceedings, they going through litigation, something like that. Because somebody's getting rest and somebody's jacked up about it. Somebody is getting good damn sleep. They happy your ass gone. Somebody is happy as hell your ass gone. And somebody's just tore up. I told you about that Tony Braxton song. I'd rather be on my. And what is 7? What is 4 plus 3? 7 all day long. And what is 3 plus 4? 7 all day long. So somebody might be 43 and somebody might be 34. There might be an age gap in this thing. So what is it? 43, 34. So that's 7. And then that's 3. So then that's 10. Okay. So it's like a 10-year, 5 to 10-year age gap in between these people. Somebody might be older, but somebody's definitely either 43 or 34, or it might be two people that's 43. It might be somebody that's 43, it might be somebody that's 34, and it might be an older person. Or it might be somebody 43, or it might be somebody that's 34, and it might be a younger person. But there's a third party in this Page of Pentacles. I don't know if it's a young acting person who's an older person, or if it's a young person who just think that they wise enough to play these games. Don't know. Do not know. But so far, I just got 2 Libras out here, which is supposed to be the scales of justice. And it also means that there's a lot of indecision that has happened, that has come to this, that has brought this to this. Because if I don't know nothing else, I know a Libra, regardless if they're in the North Node or in the South Node, them decisions is hard to come by. They do not like to down, because they don't like to actually settle on something finalized. They don't like to finalize because they still like to keep that room, that margin of error, that little space open for margin of error, or so they can jump ship. Because I don't care what they say about a Gemini. A Gemini is just multifaceted, which means that they can see all of the points of view simultaneously. But them Libras, they two-faced. Then that switch up be real. Especially if they feel like they can get this over there, that over there. They will paint an illusion right in your face with your own paint. Your own paint. They be like, oh, you got that purple over there? Come over here and let me make it lavender for you. And they'll kiss every damn thing on your body. Ew. Ew. Make sure you're dealing with somebody who got a clean mouth, not a yuck mouth. I was just about to step over there. I was just about to step over there to Virgo. But dang. 7 and 13 came out. That's the 7 of Cups and Death. 13. So Leo stepping into Virgo. Leo stepping into Virgo, there is about to be an ego death, or there has been a physical death, or death. I don't know. But yeah, somebody had opportunities, wishful thinking, choices, illusion, search for purpose, daydreaming. And now whatever they was daydreaming or trying to cast about, it's probably not going to happen. Death and beginnings, endings, beginnings, change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, and end of cycle. So this cycle is complete, and the 7 plus 13 is 20, which means 2, which means there's going to be a balance in the polarities. So if things got really bad, things are going to get really good. And if things were really good, they're not going to get that bad. They're going to balance out because there's been too much bad. Okay. Too much bad. I really don't like the fact that that guy actually got out, did not know them women from nowhere, and then stabbed the damn dog. Like, what the damn dog do? He was trying to ride out with you. He wouldn't have told nothing. You stabbed the damn dog. It was his dog. What the dog do? Well, in the dog's defense, I hope in the time that he had ownership of the dog, Doug at least got one bite. Shoot. Chariot. I don't like when people do stuff to animals. Like, what the animal did to you? You trained the damn dog. What you stabbed the dog. What you stabbed the dog for? And that is a sacrifice. Why did you sacrifice that dog? I told you what they did on Valentine's. They sacrificed a dog and a goat. One for fertility and the other one for loyalty, so that the other girls could get promised a love offer or get engaged. That's what they was that's the blood that they was putting on them girls' faces. And I think that's how they came up with the idea to get blush, because they liked how the virgins' faces looked after they got slapped with the blood. They liked the blush of their face, the redness of their face, the pinkness of their flesh. So they just stuck to that and then made it makeup. Maybe it's Maybelline. Wow, I didn't even mean to go on a sidebar tangent like that. Either way. movement, progress, progress, action, integration, determination, willpower, control, direction, departure, courage. All right. Financial loss, lack mindset, loss, isolation, worry, need, poverty, insecurity. And we're going into Virgo. So I don't know what's this about. Someone's been left out in the cold. We've got Taurus energy right there. We've got a 5. May, Taurus. All right, let's go. We got to get out of here. And it's been 2 hours. Oh my God. That's because I had to make up for me not signing on yesterday. Okay, so it's 6:17. I got to hurry up. All right, so let's go. I already did Virgo, didn't I? No, Virgo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so you got 757, 757. So somebody's probably going to go on a Boeing. Somebody's trying to get on a plane. Somebody wants to take a trip. Somebody desires to take a trip, or somebody's going to travel. So we got a 757. That always makes me think of a Boeing plane. That makes me think of Southwest, the planes that they have, the jets, the pilots, right? So we got betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting strategically, trickery, conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships. Oh, then we got challenge, competition, protection, perseverance, defense, and maintaining control. So we got this 757, and this is all what's happening either in Virgo season or to a bunch of Virgos or some Virgos. We got 2 Aquariuses out here, 1 Libra. So that means there's a lot of water. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of bravado. So that means somebody is bold as hell and they dead ass wrong. Yep. Casting them illusions. Double time on it. And that was a 12 plus 7, and the 12 plus 7 is a what? That's 19, which brings that to a 10. Cycle complete. It's over for you, bozos. All right, Virgos. I don't know what y'all got yourself into, but that's how it goes. Somebody's trying to get away. Somebody's trying to wants to travel. Someone wants long distance, something like that. Whatever it was, that was in Virgos. Wow. And then the King of Wands just popped up. I'm about to jump into Libra. Libra after Virgo. Libra after Virgo. Let's go, Libra. Libra after Virgo. We got the King of Wands. We got a Scorpio. We got Sagittarius together. Natural leader, visionary, entrepreneur, big picture leader, overcoming challenges, mature, career focus. So someone's in their King of Wands energy, and it's a big old wand. Hopefully they got it going on. I like the way they dressed. They dressed up, and they kind of got a chameleon. So we probably got a little shapeshifter, trickster energy going on with this King of Wands. Let's see what's going on. Let's go, Libra. So somebody's in trickster spirit, and they supposed to be the King of Wands. Let's see if this is the true King of Wands or is this somebody faking, future faking. Let's go. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, Libra, we got a 10 of Wands. You are carrying a heavy burden. The sun illumination, which is 19. 19 plus 10, that's 29. 29 plus 6 is 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35. Somebody 35, that's an 8. Karmic, that's an 8. So somebody 53. Somebody's 53. There's 53. That's between the Virgo and the Libra. This is a Virgo and a Libra. Somebody's 53. They're carrying a hard burden, extra responsibility, hard work, completion. The sun, which is positivity, pleasure, all that stuff. So something is being illuminated to the lovers, to the Gemini, which is that 6 that came out, love, harmony, and so forth and so on. So somebody's carrying a heavy burden in Libra about a Gemini, and it's a heavy burden. Oh boy, let the lover go. All right, let the lover go, because that's a 10 at the end of the day. Hold up, let me make sure. That's a what? Nope, no, that wasn't. That was a 35, a 50, a 35, which is a 53. So somebody was 35 when it started, and it's somebody 53 that ended it. Okay. So this person that dealt with a 35, from 35 to 53. These are the people that this person was involved in. These was the lovers. From the ages of 35 to 53, that's who they've been sleeping with. Wow. Somebody even might have been born in the 50s that they were sleeping with. 35. 8 is karma. 8 is karma for Libra. Okay, let's go. We done. Step off. Go on. That didn't make no sense. All right, so we're going to end this out with Scorpio. We love Scorpio. I love your passionate selves. I love my lovers. And that's what it is. And I love no other. I love you. I guess I do. You love me too. All right, let's go. All right, so we got the 5 of Pentacles. Somebody's out in the cold, and it's Death. Oh my God, Death the Smoochie. Death the Smoochie. You ain't no rainbow bright. You want some coochie. Death the Smoochie. You're not Rainbow Ralph. All right, remember Death the Smoochie? That was a pretty good movie. And you know who played in it? Robin Williams, one of my favorite actors. I'm so upset that he went before his time. He was very good. He was a very good addition to humanity. No one knew that he was a tortured soul from the inside. He had these beautiful, smiling, blue eyes, and you thought he was smiling on the outside, but in fact, he was smiling on the inside because he was holding beautiful things away from us, beautiful torture that he was not going to share with anyone. That's why he gave us so many loves and so many laughs. He tried his best, okay? He tried his best to stay with us. But when the world has disturbed a pure and beautiful soul, you have no idea how much torture is going on in the inside. And I rest in heaven to him. Rest in heaven. So right now we've got 515. Ding! We got a straight 20 straight out the break. It's a dub. Somebody got dubbed. Somebody got a dub. Somebody got dubbed something. Somebody got dubbed a name. Somebody got dubbed a reputation. Or somebody got a dub. Or somebody won a dub. It's like a $20 bill. Somebody's a dub. Or somebody is a dub. They're just a dub. That's what I got. 5 and 15. That's a dub. And I'm trying not to show you the 15 because the 15 is death in transformation. Okay. So yeah, we got the 5, which is financial loss, lack mindset, isolation, worry, need, poverty, insecurity, shadow, self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation. Oh my God, there's a lot to read. Let me move that. Knight of Pentacles, hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, responsibility. So it's somebody working hard to keep up the illusions when all this shit is falling apart. All right, so this is balancing the polarity. So this is judgment being called. This is Dharma happening. So stay tight while everything is getting right. You're going to see some people go down while you systematically go up by way of default because you are not doing bad. You're not out here wishing on nobody's downfall. You're not out here digging holes and laying snares and all these things privily. You're out here doing the best that you can with what you got. It's not our fault that we got a lot with that. We ain't got a lot. Okay. It's not our fault. We're just doing with what we got. To the 15, that's Taurus energy, to the 5, to the 15, Taurus energy, to the Virgo, no, not Virgo, Aries, Taurus energy. So we've doubled down on the Earth's, oh boy. We've got a lot of Earth, 2 Taurus, 1 Capricorn, and then we've got an Aries, which is fire. So somebody has scorched the Earth. So there's not a lot of passion left after all this grounding. So somebody's going down. They're starting to feel the heaviness. They're starting to feel the burden of what they've taken part in. And this is in Scorpio season. So look out in Scorpio season. When Scorpio season comes, even if you are Scorpio, this might not be directly to you, but this might be involving a Scorpio. Someone has buried you all in the ground with their intentions. And I hope you are able to save yourself. Hey, if all goes well, take yourself a hand shuffle. You're going to have to get yourself out of this. All right. Have a good one. Remember, I love you. This has been Nyx. I definitely need some coffee this morning. Don't come for me because somebody, one of them dudes, they spent you.